Hi, my name is Brittany. So today I'm going to talk to you about why I don't trust Big Pharma, why I don't get flu shots, why I don't take Big Pharma allergy meds. I don't take Advil or other different types of over-counter pain relievers and all kinds of other Big Pharma related things. So when I was 15, I took an antidepressant called Zoloft, and I found that it, in many ways, almost made me brain dead when I took it. When I was 15, I was a teenager, and I was suffering with depression problems. So this was before I found martial arts and dance, and I started to notice that sometimes I would sleep well, but then in exchange, I would almost act high a good amount of the time, part of the time I remember, and then later on, I started to fall into depression with this medication. So funny, I was taking this medication to help relieve the depression, but this medication actually ended up making me more depressed and actually created me to become suicidal. So uh, I quit doing that, and then 2 years exactly at 17, martial arts and belly dance came into my life. And so the cool thing about both of these art forms is they're both very beautiful, they're both very fun, they're both very good for working your body and your mind, and you can be any age and any skill level with them. So then I dived deep into nutrition as I got older too, and just learning how to heal different ways, with things like turmeric and cashews and all these other different natural antidepressants, right? And then rose is actually an antidepressant, and many different types of flowers are natural antidepressants. And really, there's a whole series of different things that can help reduce pain and depression and anxiety and a whole series of other issues. Um, so, for example, singing can help relieve that. Prayer and meditation can help relieve that. Really, many different types of arts, anything from coloring, drawing, painting, sculpting, cooking, gardening. Like, there's a whole list of different art forms out there. And so, really, the sad thing is people oftentimes think that, oh, different types of art, it's just for kids. It doesn't really matter, but the real thing is that actually art does matter and nature does matter because they're both big time healers. So, it kind of makes sense why a lot of the things in schools and stuff that tend to get cut is art related or, natural or different in some way, because the system wants you to constantly be a robot that takes big pharma pills your whole life, trust the vaccination industry, completely trust these guys, and you shouldn't. So there's some other different things I will share with you. So when I was in my early 20s, I was having some serious bleeding issues, and so I decided to try this anti-bleeding nose spray that I was prescribed. I had two different ones. So the strongest one made me vomit for a crazy amount of hours, and I actually thought I was going to die from that one. The second one was scary. It made me vomit as well, but because it was more mild, it wasn't necessarily 100% for sure I'm gonna die from it, but it was like, oh, maybe this is not very good and not very safe either. And the first one really scared me the most because I literally cannot tell you how many hours that I was vomiting for and how long it took exactly for it to end. Um, and they say that that's a rare side effect, but honestly, the thing about nature is, some things in nature are not good for everybody. For example, I'm allergic to lavender, which is a rare allergy, but trust me, it does exist. I don't just sneeze, I actually have serious breathing problems with it, and everything for me starts to close up, and I get rashes and everything else. So not everything from nature is necessarily 100% safe for everybody, so people kind of have to experiment, sometimes for better or for worse, with everything in life. But what I found is most of the time in nature, there is a safer, healthy alternative for healing things, regardless of what it is. naturally rather than big pharma related. Big pharma related is usually always more side effects and usually not safer. So yeah, I really dove deep into nature and the arts and how to heal naturally without the big pharma system when that almost did me in. Because it was really a big wake up call to me that, you should not be living this way, you should not be trusting this. You should find alternatives and teach yourself alternatives and then teach other people alternatives to this. And so that's what I've spent a big chunk of my life doing ever since.